All right, Grings. Okay, we do if I can speak. We do Ashtar command and see what else comes through. So you can feel free to ask your questions. We have the mic here, so you can always repeat it if I can't hear it. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. This is Ashtar command. Yes, we're not here to cause any harm. Some are afraid of our energies because we are still a foreign vibration. We are connected to the governments for a healing process. Of course, your governments don't want to heal. They want to control. It's not necessarily the reptilians, it's more of the humans here that are allowing the control to occur. It's basically a superior complex. They basically want to feel like they're above humanity, as you can see. So many are playing God. With their lives, they don't feel like they're going to get karma for it, but it usually finds a way. And some do have instant karma. Some takes a amount of lifetimes for the karma to occur. But there are checks and balances of the manipulation that happens on your planet. So basically, elites feel like there's a way of how they can get away with everything. And so far, it's who they surround themselves with. So if they can get like celebrities, news, they find just even with weather, those that manipulate the weather, but they just have ways, just people around to surround them, so you can't see who is running the show, as you know. So you've mastered that for now. So that's why it's so difficult to find who's running all of this. So, but that's why individually you are connecting more to your powers. And it is causing a fear around the earth. Many are tapping into what's happening here. You're connected to the Atlantean vibrations that are shifting the earth's vibration. Ways to unlock a lot of secrets that have been going on the earth. So you're going into a new timeline where there will be more positive energies, but it does take time to get there. I mean, it's happening in your own lives, but for it to have it happen on a world consciousness, it takes time. For the whole world to become more positive, it has to get used to that energy. It's used to going through its negativity. So it's not used to being at peace, as you can see. So we're always assisting. We are around, but we don't interfere. Some feel like we do, but we're just making sure the world has another day. To make sure that it's maybe not the easiest experiences, but you can accomplish what you're here to accomplish. But it does take time, of course. We're also here to answer your questions whenever you're ready. If you have any questions. Bye.
A random question. I don't know if you can answer it. I think I was astral abducted. Do you have any insight on that?
Was it like recently, or what is it?
A couple months ago.
Because you do see around childhood also.
Yeah.
Who's
responsible? Who is it?
Zetas. What in your childhood we feel that was more of like they didn't know what you were. So and it does feel like there's a lot of child Zetas around you because they've never seen an energy like you before. So it's like asking, they're asking their dad if they can play with you or something like that. But the recent one was more, does it feel like it was a positive experience? Or no, obviously not.
I felt like I was pulled out of my body through my feet. And, I don't remember much after that.
Yeah, it feels more like a reptilian energy there. I think they were observing you. They were seeing what you were up to in astral. They couldn't really get any information from you. But it feel like they're trying to like snatch you when you weren't paying attention. So, but it did catch you off guard. But I believe it was stopped, from what I can see.
Is this something I should count on happening more often?
No, you should put it out there for it not to happen again. Yeah, it was. I mean, it feels harmless. They weren't going to do anything, but it still wasn't very. The intentions weren't exactly positive. It wasn't for your. It's something you're doing a lot in astral with the Earth, like with the New Earth timelines, and it seemed like some of them got kind of irritated with what you were doing. They had some idea of what you're doing, but they weren't. You're very connected to nature.
Like grid work?
Yes. Well, it does seem like you're assisting some future type of nature environments here. Like you put your intentions for new types of, trees being born here. All of a sudden there's a new type of tree, new type of grass, things like that. So that's obviously in the future. And I believe the energy of the Earth isn't ready for that yet. Blessings.
Thanks for the information.
Blessings.
So I have a question. It's something that's interactive. Oh,
Please go ahead.
oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
It's something that's like interacting with me right now, actually. And it told me that it's kind of like removing suffocating thoughts so that it can communicate with me more clearly, I guess you could say. Is there anything that you can tell me about that?
Are you feeling a clearing at all, or no?
It's been feeling like that for a few months now, but it's been feeling like it's been like multiple interactions with beings.
Yes.
I am a little bit, confused.
Well, we see you on the Arcturian Council. We see that you're not used to having a human body either. So you're still trying to get your body to work properly, as you know. So it has to do with you have a specific mission here that you couldn't do in the astral. So that's one of the reasons why you're here. It's like you're taking this physical trip. Yes, it's not. It's like a 30-day trip. Obviously, it's a lot longer than that in the physical. But for you, astral, it's like it was needed to be done. So it does seem like they're opening up some cognitive connections for you. It's just that you have not quite reached what you're here to do yet. You're on that path, but you have not fully, like you're in that position, like this is me using my power and things like that. That's what we see.
Well, a question about that. What is the overall theme of what I'm meant to do, or anything that like resonates with that sort of question?
Well, just keep going forward and continue to practice with your abilities. There are some parts of your abilities that have not been fully mastered as you're learning to. Once you become more comfortable with what you're capable of, and you feel like you have a better connection, because it does seem like you connect to your powers, but then you're kind of like, I'm not sure about this, and put it on the shelf. Then you bring it back and put it back. It goes back and forth, it seems. So it's just, and it's as long as you need to take. Because once again, you're in a physical body, which you're not really used to from what we can see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so when I was 5, and I'm asking this really because I have a feeling multiple people have experienced this. So when I was 5, it was literally I woke up in the middle of the night to something jabbing me in the back, right at my sacral, not my sacral, my solar. And right as I woke up 5-6 years ago, I started having these dreams, and my whole entire body would just like bow, essentially, right at the back. Right at that same exact point. It was almost like I relived that moment when I was 5-6 years old. Now, as I've unpacked this over the years, I've realized that the great beings created essentially a cube behind my back. And what was happening was that cube was holding on to emotions. And every time long story short, is I feel like I canceled that contract.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I feel also reptilians involved with that too.
Really?
Yeah, they're to open you up. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we know that they couldn't get into through your energy field, so reptilians help.
But that
the Gray's
can't-
gonna get.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that
but-
contract is canceled.
Yeah, but the memories are still there, as you can
Yeah.
see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to do with hybrid children. I think he canceled that, but that's what they're trying to do.
Mm,
At least that was a kind of an agreement, but I feel like he said no to that
okay.
because I feel a hybrid energy there.
Mm.
So we've been on a hybrid children for another planet to have your DNA. Something like that.
So they were trying to extract my DNA?
That was part of it, part of the contract. Eventually, but I feel like he didn't. Yeah, he said no to all of it though. So that would have been a civilization similar to this one, but a lot lighter.
Mm.
So it would have been learning from this world's mistakes. That's what we see. But I believe you already have a presence there already.
I'm sorry?
You already have a presence there already, from what we see.
Mm.
So we just see a planet Sirius. You have a lot of connections to Sirius, is what we see.
Yeah.
So there are worlds where you are working on at this time. Of course, in the higher astral, in the fourth dimension. So for third dimensional physical work, we don't feel like you're. At least this is one of your heaviest incarnations. We don't feel like you're really doing much in the physical. If you are, we're not picking you up. But most of it's in the astral. So.
So I think-
Yeah.
I'm waking up and I have usually a lot of muscle pain, particularly in my neck and back area. And I was also wondering what's happening in the astral with me because I don't remember all of my dreams.
Yeah, it feels like it's reptilian energies that you've been interacting with, at least a queer, a lot of their control here. I do see light language in the astrals, like kind of like a singing energy that comes from me. It's like a vibration, basically, to assist with the Earth's vortexes. So life can continue here. Of course, you're one of many that's connected to that. So it feels heavy waking up from that. It's like you go into energy healing with the Earth. You say technically you're doing it during the day also, but at night that's not all you're doing, but that's part of one of your aspects in astral. So it's
So what
basically
am I doing with the reptilians in the astral?
well, you're clearing their energies, trying
Clearing
to
their energies.
clearing their suppression here.
And that's causing my back pain.
It's like it's stress on your body. It's just stress on you. So it's like the chakras in those areas get hit by it. So it's just it will clear eventually, but possibly in the new year it'll start to clear. It's not clear what's Has this been going on long or short or?
It's more severe this year than
Yeah.
it used to be.
I believe because you're doing it so when the Earth goes into the new year, it's a little bit.
So when is that happening? Like beginning of 2022?
Yeah, somewhere in there. They're not saying when exactly. Well, because you're kind of exhausted. Well, at least when you see from your astral aspect, it's kind of exhausted. I don't know if you feel that here physically, but astrally, you feel like you've had enough. At least for what you're doing, because it's like you're putting out energy constantly. At least one of your aspects is doing it. So
Thank you. I'm going to take a quick question from YouTube. This is from Tesseract, and they say, is there a way we can activate our 12 or 24 strains of DNA?
yeah, not in the physical, not yet. Astral, you can imagine, you can pick up on those energies astrally, yes. But here in the physical, as you can see, there's a lot of rules here, and it's not your rules; it's just the rules that you agreed on in your incarnation. It's like many want to fly, but the rules of this earth is like no flying people right now. So it's just no telepathic people. You can have some of it, but not to the full extreme just yet. And that's more like the rules of the elite here right now. So, and all of you have seen the elite energies here too before you incarnated. You just forget when you come in, so you know it exists in some form. So some of you have family members connected to it. Because some families are a little authoritarian. Wonder where they're getting that from. So, blessings.
had 6 miscarriages. 2 of them I can still kind of feel and connect with.
Yeah.
Are there any that you feel, see, know more of what happened?
Like what happened for the miscarriage, or
It feels like they were taken, is the best way that I can describe it.
some of them were, but some was also an agreement where they changed their mind to incarnate here. I don't think all of them were taken, but some of them were. So it's
I had sleepwalking as a child. I'm her sister. And I think that her miscarriages are related to perhaps sexual problems, abductions of some sort in my childhood. Is this like a family contract?
yes, definitely. Well, there is some reptilian energies there of breeding, of not to say that there's anything wrong with those souls, but some of them have been basically those have been your kids before too. So yeah, there's some Anunnaki energy there. Some high priestess energy there in your past. So there's agreements not for the miscarriages. Basically, that's an attack to not let you have children here. It's not necessarily an agreement. It's just that the beings here are not going to make it easy. As you
Am I
can see.
supposed to have children here?
It's not. Yes and no. It's not completely clear there. That's entirely up to you if you want to attempt again.
Is there anything from my childhood as far as the abductions go that I need to know or should know?
Well, you had a lot of abductions when you were a child. You're a crystal child, indigo. It's like,
Yeah,
it feels like a little bit of both.
a little bit of both. I've always resonated with both.
Yeah, both, and you're basically your color is usually blue. You're also very connected to the Indian cultures
Ooh.
of India. So, and there you were like you had many children, and those I believe it's just that because your children feels like would be against the system here, and the beings here obviously don't want that. So that has a lot to do with it. It's how their kids will develop. That's what they don't want. So, and they know that you'll fight all their manipulations too.
Mhm.
So it has a lot to do with that. So there seems to be a reptilian ship that even technically from what you see hovers around where you live. It's kind of monitoring. And it seems like there's military connected to it.
Yes, my grandfather was in the military and was exposed to nuclear testing. We've
Yeah.
often wondered if there's genetic influence in that regard as well.
Yeah, but there's also he saw things that were not human too from what we're feeling.
Ooh,
So
always had suspicions of that.
yeah, it feels like he was a little bit shocked, and the beings he saw did not look human. They're alien beings, but not anything I think has even been seen here. So,
Angelics?
no, these are more insectoid.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we're showing there.
Does
So
my father have any lineage on that side? Any weird? There's
a little bit, yeah. There's a lot of Anunnaki connections there.
So dad is Anunnaki.
There's some of that, yes. It's not entirely Anunnaki, but there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
It seems like your family is incarnated here, over and over, as you probably know.
Yeah.
It seems like most, at least for the two of you, come from more of the Garthian realms. I think you know that.
Okay.
So you can incarnate here to block a lot of the manipulations here, physically.
Is that related to like which things
Yes.
in past current? Okay.
Yeah.
Siberian area too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that both of you have the ability to multiply. Copy yourself or multiply yourselves. Like there's 2 or 3 versions of you around.
So when I was a kid saying, I wonder what the other me is up to, that's a thing.
Yes.
Okay, I remember that quite
Yeah. You're used to doing that a lot.
Is
Both
that
of
an
you.
inner earth relationship?
Yes.
There's an inner earth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like your talent of just multiplying yourself.
Okay.
what's with tunnels?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's with tunnels?
Is it-
Tunnel. There's something with tunnels with both of us, not in this life and not in this body, but it's like we can see our separate selves delving through tunnels somewhere.
Saving kids, perhaps. We're not certain.
Yeah, those are reptilian. Well, it's also a Garthian connection. Well, a lot of the abductions are going into Agartha, like a dark side of Agartha. So.
So do we really know a lot more about inner Earth than we give ourselves
Oh
credit
yeah,
for?
definitely. It's just I believe it's blocked so you can function in this reality.
Yeah.
Because it does make it gets quite intense as your imagination can go. So it's as intense as you can think, and it is pretty scary for those in the physical to see something like that.
Is there a way to actually unblock that more and
Oh, yes.
start to remember?
Yeah. Yeah, you just
Is that what we're supposed to do?
seems like it's okay. It feels like you've been doing that already every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're unscrewing it, then you screw it back in. So you're on. Yeah, you can keep diving into it.
Yeah.
It's this song you're telling yourself you can handle it. It's like, okay, I'm ready to see what I'm ready. I'm ready to go in.
So is our path to get our emotions under control a little bit more so that we can handle it a little bit better?
Yes, correct.
Is there exposure with Hollywood people that we're supposed to do? Or anything of that nature? Because I do feel like I can see into the Hollywood realm
Yes.
of what's really going on.
If there's
Is that part of this path?
if there's Hollywood figures that you feel it's involved with it, then just let that energy come through.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be hesitant. Just let it come. Just go wherever you need to go with that.
Thank you.
Blessings.
We have a question from YouTube, a very fun one. This is from Sean McCarthy, 86. And he says, are certain drugs keeping the reptilian hold on society alive?
Keeping it alive.
Certain drugs keeping the reptilian hold on society alive.
Keeping the reptilian hold. Yes. Yeah. Usually. Well, yeah, cocaine. So yeah, cocaine. You see that in Hollywood. It's some psychedelics, but also there are pharmaceuticals, of course. Actually, a lot of your pharmaceuticals are connected with Nordics, plated Nordics, the tall ones like around World War II. So it's like, if we can't get you spiritually, we'll get you, through your body. If we can't kill you, we'll find another way to close you down. So.
I experienced severe vertigo March 3rd, and it lasted for several months, and I was wondering if you know what caused it.
Feels like an alignment, as you know, obviously. It feels like astrally, you're kind of like, what we feel is like a drill coming into your energy field to kind of change your perception, it's like you're doing an energy transformation, it feels like. You don't feel as a negative. I mean, it might have felt, but it feels like it was actually improving a lot of your senses, at least from what we can see.
In what way is it enhancing? Like, what is it changing?
Well, it seemed like it's part of your grounding. Yeah, it feels like you're having trouble, at least from our perspective, there's a grounding issue before, and all your powers haven't fully, as you start activating your power, you'll go back to that time when you first felt the vertigo. So we feel the vertigo is just basically just opening you up and downloading information as you explore more of your abilities. You'll see that you're more grounded. Of course, it's difficult to pick it up because you're not used to opening up yourself before that happened. But it's actually help your abilities strengthening, for your abilities to come through, basically.
What, in your perspective, are my abilities?
Whatever you want them to be. It feels like you have quite a few.
Okay.
I feel like I have a strong intuitive ability, but also a healing energy. It's entirely up to you what you want to develop, actually.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
blessings.
Oh, I have one. I was told by an astral clan that I have a leaky heart, and that until I heal that, I can't come into my full power as a healer. Do you have any insight into what that might mean?
Only thing we feel is as caring for others, maybe caring too much at times. It's the only thing we're seeing with that. If that even makes any sense. The whole term of leaky heart is not something we hear very often. For like to come into your power, it's interpretation of basically from what we see at the time, your heart might not have been fully into what you're doing now. Like you're going deeper into what you're doing. So I feel like more of your heart chakra will strengthen from what we see. So it feels like the time you're told that you're still understanding your abilities is what we get from that. So as you understand it more of your heart becomes more sharpened, you can say, more accurate to what it wants to do. So you do bring a lot of energies from astral to do what you're doing here. So part of you seems like you've mastered the third dimension, but now you're understanding more of the spiritual energy. It's like the settlement is a physical being, and then once you feel like you're settled in, then you bring in more of the astral and spiritual vibrations. So, blessings.
I'll take another question from YouTube. Was anyone else to ask?
I have one more. With my father's energy, he tends to confuse me. Sometimes I think he's of the light, and sometimes I think he's not. And he's claimed to walk with Arcturians. Can you tell me a little bit more about his path, and am I supposed to help him or let him go?
Well, it feels like he's kind of a vampire energy at times,
Yes.
and he's kind of a trickster energy.
Yes.
So even Arcturians can be tricksters. So I think when he says he's an Arcturian, he's more just trying to make you feel comfortable than he does something else.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a lot of Archon energy there too. So he's like a magician. So he's not fully aware of his power, but he is kind of sneaky, as you can see. So yeah, just keep your distance. That's what I say.
My mother is very disconnected, and I think that comes from being with him.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Is there anything that I can do to help her heal to where she remembers the good of who she is and not underneath all of his stuff?
Yeah, she's pretty traumatized.
Yes.
And that's been years and years of that.
Yes.
Especially when you're growing up. So yeah, it's good for her to almost like see a therapist practically.
Yeah.
She just needs to talk all this stuff out. So if there's talk to you, talk to somebody. Sometimes it's good for her to talk to a stranger just to release it all. Okay. Even like a friend of a friend, somebody I might trust. Because he talks to the daughter, that's weird for a mother. But
it's very weird
for a stranger, it's fine. Somebody that's professional, obviously. So you can think about that. But yeah, she does need somebody to talk to, though.
We both have a lot of abandonment issues because she wasn't able to talk about anything with us or even acknowledge the abuse that was happening to us. Is there anything that we can do to help heal ourselves from that and not blame her? Because in so many ways, I don't see it as her fault.
No, yeah, it's forgiveness of the father. You can also go into your father's energy. It's up to you if you feel comfortable with that. Because he was taking a lot of your energy and it's free to bring your energy back. So it's like healing him, but also feeling like you're back to normal again. You're like the inner child work, especially the inner child. Because he was basically, I believe he was there just to decipher, so you're not aware of who you are.
Yes.
And also the miscarriage energy feels like it's connected to him a lot too. The more I see that. Yeah, he played a major block in that. Now, he's not aware of a person physically. No, he has no idea. But on another level, he's definitely a trickster being. So he has a little bit of light. He has a little bit of everything. It's almost like a chameleon. He has to play all roles.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very sophisticated being, actually.
We have a third sister who's right in between us. Was she abused, abducted? She has barely any memories of her childhood.
Yeah, a lot of Zeta connections there. Abductions. Some reptilian, mostly Zeta. Feels like she was part of a project.
Oh.
Yeah, just might have been a hybrid project. It's not completely clear there, but yeah, she's definitely. I don't see hybrid children here now, but she was part of hybrid programs in her past.
Does she have my mother's energy at all, or is this
Some.
an implant from elsewhere?
No, she has some of
Okay.
some of that might be for her protection, possibly. Not remembering her childhood. Yeah, that's some of the father traumas.
Mhm.
So yeah, healing that. Now with her, I feel like hypnosis would work. One of you can do it
Oh,
if you're okay with that. You can actually hypnosis each other, or all three of you can do it. You know.
Smart. Why didn't you think of that?
Yeah, hypnosis. Yeah, just do a basic hypnosis of each other. Just lay down, just take it easy, and just you're not going to get abducted or anything. But it's just
Okay,
just
thank
allow
you.
this. Just yeah, no. But just as long as you do an energy, you'll be fine. As long as you do a just a basic protection and just basic hypnosis. Just relax, let the person relax, and just calm everything down, and just talk. Let the person say what they need to say. That would clear out a lot, especially when you mentioned the mother, the father. I feel like the mother, like you just asked about mom and just what your perspectives are on their hypnosis, and because you can also see what's going on with her.
Yeah.
So blessings.
Thank you.
Blessings.
We're gonna take a quick question from YouTube if you're
Yeah.
up for it. And
Sure.
so this is a little bit of a more elaborate question, and so just kind of give us whatever you feel. This is from Miss Liz White Swan. She says, a recurrent, very vivid dream of me and my dad being taken at night into a barn.
Yes.
I somehow knew what they were doing to him one stall over, but it would go black right as they came for me every single time. She says she has never said this to anyone before ever. It's the first time she's ever spoken of such a thing. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it was a Zeta abduction program. I believe they were trying to clone them, but they might have been successful, but it doesn't seem they were. So, but also she was battling them a lot. So yeah, it has a lot to do with the land they were born, were raised on, or she was raised on. There's an energy portal there too. So it's like the Greys were like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "This is our place." So that means you're ours then. So something along those lines. So and there's a lot of that. That's why abductions happen, because some of the alien beings feel like you're on their turf, and they don't think anything of it. Abducting, they don't. What would they? So humans do the same thing, in a human way, of course. That's this.
If there's no other questions, we'll take one more from YouTube. And so this comes from a Hopeful Art. And Hopeful Art says, here it is. Recently, I was told during a reading that a being I encountered during a meditation, dark brown skinned and tall and slim, was a shapeshifter. Is this the case for those types of beings?
Yes. That being feels like it came from a Alpha Centauri. I believe it's part of her group. So, like an old friend showing up. So, all right. So, you can always bring in another being if you like.
Yes, please, whoever you feel guided.
Okay. All right, we're doing an experiment here. So if it gets strange, they can always leave. So, all right, blessings. Greetings. We are the Zetas. Greetings to you. Yes, our race has been seen as a negative nature. Many of us are here as we're experimenting like any other being. There are beings that do take it to another level of negativity. But also our race has been used by some of your government and official individuals of even programming us. So just like how they program humans, they program our own collective. They literally found a way how to get into our energy fields, how we speak and think. Was also, it's a violation of our rights. So, but we are here also. There are many that are here to assist the human. As we know, we will never be similar to a human ourselves. We're not meant to be. There are Zetas that look like humans and try their best to act like. They're always trying. Especially that emotions, they get too emotional sometimes. Sometimes they cry when they're like reading a back of a milk carton or something. So there are Zetas that are actually very sensitive to everything. So there are very worlds where they are very kind, but your world has a perception of them, so it's difficult for everything to come through. The idea is to heal the human race. It's hard to heal when humans are afraid all the time, especially when it connects to species that actually a Zeta can heal chakras, auras. We can only do so much on your world, but we can assist like that. Similar to like ET. I believe he did something like that. But we're always learning from your collective. It's just that we're not seeing the most positive light, so we don't come through very often because there is manipulation there, as you can see. We'll just come here for a message, though. So, blessings. You. We are the felines from Lyra. We are from Africa. We do have our presence here. We are just humanoid feline beings. There are many from Sirius due to the Earth's energy, due to what's happening in the atmosphere. Many felines incarnated onto the Earth to. The incarnate is human to help with the energy fields here. Of course, they have to live a life the best they can. Some became shamans. But us as Lyran felines are connected to you from your origins. I'm not going to go into your origins. It's not that important, really. It's just that the human has always been, like any being, an experiment. You don't have to look at it as an experiment, but it's it's for the soul to expand itself. The feline can only go so far. As a human, you have humans here and felines, cats, lions, tigers. And if you're a feline human and you see tigers here, it does get kind of confusing. It's like, okay, so I'm connected to that. So how does that work exactly? It's like, how does that work? I'm human and they're not. For the here as a human, there's a lot of mystery, as you can see. There's a lot of Mayan energies connected to humans, actually. You might not be aware of it, but some of you that are opening up your powers are actually connected to some of you, a Mayan side. That's actually Atlantean Lemurian energy. So the Mayans never really left. They're just in the higher astral usually. They don't really appear as Mayans. They might if they want to. But as feline beings, we feel like many other species to protect this earth. Because it's protecting, we have to. It's part of us. It's part of all of us. To keep this world going. As many beings want to just shut this world down, it's not finished yet, as you can see. So when all the world's problems end, now we don't have to worry about this planet anymore. So until then, we're not leaving. We're also here to answer your questions if there are any. We're a feline race. Blessings.
I have a question. Are there currently physical feline beings existing on our Earth plane in physical form, or is it more astral?
Well, it's more astral, but there are some here physically, but they are not going to show themselves in person. Some are in Africa. Usually they incarnate as a human. They just look very feline-like too. Of course, without the whiskers. Human whiskers. Well, some people do have whiskers.
I do have a question. Did I integrate a feline aspect recently? Because I woke up one day and I looked feline.
Yes.
Okay, it was on the 8A portal.
I believe you open up one of your chakras, possibly your crown chakra. Seems like your crown chakra. To just know more about your own origins, but that feline energy feels like it comes from Orion.
Oh, interesting.
And a positive side of Orion. Well, Orion itself is an experimental star system, basically. Without them, this world would not exist. Of course, some might. Yeah, probably go into that. But all this that's happening here is all necessary. So if a soul wants to be extremely positive, they always have the choice to do so. Obviously, many choose not to. If they want to know what's really happening on this world, they are free to know that, but many choose not to. Many of you are, but obviously the entire race is not doing that. They can bypass all these manipulations too, but they choose not to. So, but yeah, if there's any questions.
I had something happen to me last July, and I don't know what it was, but I had some sort of a vision of a swirl of blue and white light with a white feline face in the middle of it. Do you see anything there, or do you have anything you can tell me about that?
Always thing we see with that is an Arcturian feline in the fourth dimension.
From what dimension?
Fourth dimension.
What was that about? Can you tell me?
I feel like it was just integrating into your energy, but also just connecting you to source, helping you with source connections. I believe it's helping you on your path. It feels like I was clearing out some of your timeline at that time. What it feels like. But it feels like there's a spirit guide energy that came in too, a new one. So like a new spirit guide.
Was it a feline?
Yeah, it feels that way. Yeah. It feels like a cub.
Oh.
You might look all adult, but it feels like a young soul. So it's just learning from you, basically.
It's learning from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I see there. I mean, it's helping you, but it's also, you're helping each other. Let's put it that way.
How am I helping it?
We learn about this human thing because I don't think it's used to it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, blessings. Questions?
If we have any other questions at this time as well on YouTube that we're seeing, but we're open to any messages you would have.
That as you're going into a self-healing of the earth, some do get ahead of themselves. Feel like the earth is going to heal. I mean, it's healed, it's coming, it's going to be tomorrow, but there are some tricks or energies working with that to make people feel like everything's going to be fine when the world still has a long ways to go. So it's like turn before you hit the turn. It's like, you're going in this direction, but you're there. Just move off the street. You're fine. So it's also, yes, it is getting people to not want to work on themselves. It's like, everything's going to be fine. I don't have to do any inner work. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to figure myself out. Everything's going to be fine. We'll be in paradise. So it's actually just to stop the process. So it's a major psyop. And it's very sophisticated, as you can see. So and some of you might have a deja vu. You might have had this conversation already. even if it feels like it's the first time you talked about this. so there's with the feline vibrations connected to the earth. We can't interfere with free will. Humans are still. We just have to not exactly if we're sitting around watching, but we are assisting to not interfere with free will. Much has to do with the weather. But the human emotions, when we're around a person that has a lot of emotions or a lot of dark energy, it is difficult to heal them, as you can see here in the physical. So we have to back off or ask for assistance. So alien beings are here to help you stay on track, but it's still up to the person to decide where they go. So if they're going to go to like the you have the angel or the dark angel, it's still up to the human to decide that. So we're just all we can do is assistance. There is, of course, a Palladian vibration. It does come here as a ground crew, as their presence is very strong here. And that's also to help with your medical experiments, help with health. Of course, there's a lot of manipulation when it comes to finance and all that. So, of course, right now your medical field is, it's just a financial transaction, as you may know. As how the elites are moving money around right now. They can't move it through the military as much as they used to. So now they're doing it in the medical field. So it's one of the reasons why this is happening. There's many other reasons, but that's one of them. They launder money to do all kinds of things here. So all right.
Is there something that we can do collectively or solo? Like, what's the best way that we can help heal Earth right now, or help heal the people that are on it? What's one of the strongest things that we can do?
Well, to heal yourself as you clear your energy, because your intentions are already to heal the Earth. But for you to heal the Earth, you have to heal you. So as you know your boundaries, where you need to go. If you need to, what feels best for you. And when you're at a good vibration, the Earth feels it. So I think of it like you're all tuning forks, and the vibrations are just felt over your intentions. The Earth already knows your intentions, so watch with your thoughts. So if you have good intentions for humanity, the Earth feels it. The thoughts are everywhere. So if you have good intentions for the Earth, that goes out. But as long as your vibration is at a good level, it amplifies your intention there.
Is there a connection to creativity associated with all of that too?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Well, first off, it's a healing for yourself.
Yes.
But as you do creative work for others, and yes, it has light codes connected to it. It has your energy there. It's if you want to give it to somebody or show it, it's like a gift.
Is that how different alien races actually connect to the human collective, is through creativity?
Yes.
So messages that we are receiving, that we are creating, are sometimes from alien races?
Yes, or all the time, depending on a person. Yeah.
So if we can see those messages and decipher those messages, would we actually see an alien agenda behind that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Easily.
Thank you.
Like many here are multidimensional. So like in your movies, when it's multidimensional, it's actually a lot of times it's alien beings trying to contact humans to say, hey, guess what? This is what's happening. People call it fiction, but it's actually happening in real life.
Are Lyrans very involved in Hollywood?
Some, yes. Mostly the human Lyran, usually.
MGM Studios?
Obviously, yes.
I don't know.
Actually, they're proud of that, even if it is. I believe reptilians want to do the same thing, but having a big snake there doesn't look too. But they have their snakes all everywhere else, especially with China with the dragons. So there is an ego there for some of these beings. By the way, we're here. Don't forget that. Any other questions from us? So, all right. Send your energies. Blessings to you all. Blessings. Blessings. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
blessings.